Has anybody ever told you that wargaming is expensive? It's true. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. Me and my buddy Dan, we are going to make our own little warband.
Hi, my name's Dan. Dan does. This is the laughing bit.
My name is Gert. Welcome to recession-proof wargaming and welcome to the workshop. You might be thinking, what games am I going to play? A couple of tips. Planet 28.
Narb has a fun little game called When Worlds Collide.
Definitely one to check out. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of details. Links below. Go and check them out. I want you to meet the blood ghosts. These models were all made with the same techniques, same materials. Those materials being thin metal wire, PVA glue, toilet paper, sodium bicarbonate or baking soda, super glue, and a bit of hot glue. We're gonna start off with the most basic model, the ghosts. Time to make a simple armature. I'm using a piece of 15 centimeters of the wire, fold that in half, then I twist up about half of that piece so I have a firm spine. I have two smaller pieces of the wire that I can use for legs. I use the pliers to bend me a nice straight edge. I'm using super glue and baking soda to attach the armature to the base. Use plenty, don't be shy. This is going to form a rock-like texture, which is going to make a firm connection. Here you can see the big boy, which is the big ghost. I'm gonna use this model because it's a little bit more clear of what I'm actually doing. I'm building up the main shapes with the glue and the sodium bicarbonate. Just adding a bit of glue, a bit of powder to all the areas that I want to bulk out, being the hips, the chest, shoulders, arms, legs. Use the same technique for all the models. With the ghost I didn't use a whole lot of powder. This makes it easier to bend a little bit to give a bit more of a posture. Now after all the posturing, it's time to whip out the toilet paper. Just simple regular toilet paper will do. We are going to apply the toilet paper to the metal frame with a mixture of water and PVA glue. I'm thinking a consistency between milk and water. And then it's just simply a matter of dabbing on a bit of glue, adding a bit of paper, adding a bit of glue, adding a bit of paper, and so on and so on. Build up the shapes. If you're noticing that the paper starts to tear, take it inside, take it to a warm place, allow it to dry, and then you can quickly return to build up shapes. I'm using fast drying PVA, which definitely helps, but you do you, of course. Once we are happy with all the build-up shaping we've done, it's time for a layer of paint. Very simple paint job. Two colors, black on the inside, a gory red effect on the outside. You can use whatever brand you like. Games Workshop has one. I'm using the Green Stuff World one. Gory blood is where it's at. The ground texture is by Nog, who were so kindly to send me a couple of these little jars. This is going to last me a long time. I simply build up this texturing paste, allow it to dry thoroughly, and then I use some pretty flower tufts as a finish, a nice little contrast between the goriness on top. And here are the lovely ghosts. First unit done. Let's go to the big boy. No need to repeat the wire making process. Same principles. You've seen me add the shapes with the super glue and the baking soda in an earlier stage. Here I am building up shapes with toilet paper with the PVA water mixture. And I also added, just for a bit of more firmness, a couple layers of super glue here and there. This because I wanted the shape for the big boy to be a little bit more elaborate. I went ahead and applied the same paint to the model than I did on the smaller ghosts. Then I wanted a small little extra feature. For this I glued two pieces of toilet paper with the PVA glue. I cut out a couple of claws, attached to its super glue, textured up, painted up, and this is the result. The final model of the warband, the Blood Priest. For this I went a slightly different route. For the armature I added a couple of rings. I simply made these by twisting the wire around a screwdriver and attached the rings with a little bit of super glue and baking powder. And then it's a matter of simply starting the whole process again of building up the shapes with the toilet paper and the thinned down PVA mixture. I did this process until I was happy with the basic shape. Then I went back to the material that I used to make the claws of the big boy with. The 2 sheets of toilet paper glued to each other, cut off strips, and applied these into various patterns at the front and at the back. With these attached, I then continued by texturing with the regular toilet paper. And while the model was still wet, I simply pushed down at the arms, making a more robust, more wider shape. I find this shape to be more grim and foreboding, so I went with this one. I apply a face that's just simply a dot of hot glue. I allowed this model to dry thoroughly, and then it was time for painting. A very simple paint job. Once again, are you seeing a pattern? I started off with a grey primer, white highlights, and a bunch of black washes for the shadows. I built this up over time until I was happy with the result. A bit of pure black here and there to really sell the shadows. Blood red on the face. And that's it painting wise for the boss of my warband. I used the same mixture than I did for all the other models, but this time instead of fresh flowers I painted the flowers black just to imply some kind of effect that the boss is having on its surroundings. Makes it a little bit more eerie, a bit more dark. And that's it, the blood ghosts. A short and sweet little video. Be sure to go and check out Dan's awesome project. The link's below. Have fun. See you soon. Bye.